All right, welcome into the. No, wait, let's fix this just a little bit before we welcome anybody anywhere. All right, there we go. Hey, welcome into Pugs and Parker, proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. I am Pugs. He is Parker. And because we miss Kelly Moore Mondays, it is Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on a Tuesday with the Kelly Moore Tuesdays. Look at that. All three are here.
Wow, look at that.
Did I catch it? She was in the middle of, I probably should have waited till she was done brushing her hair, but I didn't because I don't think that way. And that's why I'm divorced twice. Hi, everybody. How are you? How are you all?
Hey, we have a bonus person.
A bonus person?
Hello.
Hello, it's Kelly's daughter. It's the little actress. Look at her.
Oh, yeah.
Look at her.
Here I am.
Out there in Hollywood. She was so good on our little mansplaining show that we did. James, you were good too. She was better.
Yeah, that was kind of an afterthought.
She was better though.
Oh, okay.
But you were fine. You argued with me a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So what? We're just gonna put it in the middle so we don't see all of any of you. Is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to work it out.
Whatever.
I'm having technology problems. It's just a thing.
That's all right.
Pugs, flip through your options there on how to layer us. I think there's a horizontal.
No, but I'd have to get us.
Oh,
How did you do that?
Because James knows what he's talking about and I don't. That's
Oh,
why. Look at that. There you go.
I don't know either.
How do I label them though? Like, is there like Kelly has to put Kelly and McKenna right on her screen?
Oh, good luck with that. I don't know how to do that.
No, you can do that somewhere under
Doug.
settings.
My dog wants to be a part of this.
Oh, there's a dog there too.
Oh my God, I have 4
Oh, Jesus.
dogs.
All right.
Well, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go big or go home. So
All right.
So
Welcome into a Kelly Moore Monday on a Tuesday because Monday was Memorial Day. Did we all have a good Memorial Day, James? What was your Memorial Day weekend all about?
I went on my brother-in-law's boat for like 3 hours on
purpose?
Saturday. Yeah.
Oh,
And
jeez.
then it wasn't for me. We were toting the kids around on tubes. So that was
and
that
they
was
live in
pretty fun.
Tyler, Kelly, so it was just in the driveway.
Yeah, it wasn't like that, or we get to go to the Met, you know. But,
Where were you? What lake were you on?
like Palestine,
Lake Palestine.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
No,
spelled
no.
Palestine to the outside world, but I don't know why we call it Palestine, but we do. There's a town that's further down the road called Palestine as well. We're sticking to it.
This
Um,
is in Texas?
Yeah, it's in Texas. It's like
Oh.
2 hours east of you.
Oh, interesting.
Well, no,
2
you're in
hours east
Corpus.
of us?
Sorry,
you?
sorry. I was thinking Pugs. Yeah, so I'm like 11 hours north of you.
Okay.
Probably any number of biblical named bodies of water in that part of the state.
Well, hell, she lives in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, 2 hours east of me is right in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She lives in Body of Christ, Texas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And James is out there. And Tyler, what's Tyler named for? That's a dude, right? Is that President Tyler?
I think it was named for President Tyler, but I'm not too certain about that.
All right. So you're out there on the lake. You were tubing. Did you have the same problem that we had? We spent the entire weekend out on a lake, and the problem that we had was wind. It was so windy.
Yeah, it's windy.
The waves were huge. There was no tubing. We've got a busy show, but I have got a story to tell at some point where we have to put somebody on a pedestal and all bow down to someone who is just flat out a better human being than any of us. Kelly,
It's not going to be me. I know it.
It ain't gonna be you. What did you do this weekend?
Fought with my husband mostly.
Jesus.
Well, it's the same as every other weekend.
That's a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah,
That is
it
some
is.
heartbreaking
You're
stuff,
right.
actually. What are you doing?
It absolutely is a problem.
You mean to tell me you guys didn't this big Top Gun weekend? You didn't get out. That wasn't a big family event for you down
yeah,
there?
right?
No, McKenna came in and flew into San Antonio on Saturday. And Declan, my oldest son, took my 2 youngest sons up to pick her up at the airport. And then they went to Six Flags on Saturday.
So
We sure
where's
did.
our Six Flags there?
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. San
That's
Antonio's
Six
got
Flags
everything.
Fiesta, Texas.
Uh-huh. And then they stayed overnight. And then we came back down and it was Lachlan's birthday celebration at the world famous Jumping World,
Oh,
which
The whole
everybody
world
loves.
knows about it.
I think there is more than one. There are
is
other
that one of them
locations.
trampoline parks?
You got
Sure
it.
is, yeah.
Man, we
It
got
is-
like 3 of those in Tyler. It's huge all of a
God,
sudden.
it is.
We
It
got, like,
is.
There's like 3 of them where I lived in Chicago. There's like 3 of them within a 10-minute drive. Just pick your direction. Actually, that's
Mhm.
not true. Kelly knows Chicago. You can go to the black one. You can go to the white one.
Jeez.
Wow.
Or you can go to the one in the sort of mixed neighborhood.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And then I had a little bit of a mourning period as the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial has come to pretty much a close, and it's just with the jury.
Yeah.
So I have to find something else to watch on TV. God knows what that will be. But
Yeah. There's
are you not watching this, Pugs?
I look. They're in deliberations. They were deliberating for 6 days. Yes, I was watching it. Yes, are you
He
kidding me?
was. He was the foremost expert on it. But we lost interest like 2 weeks into it.
You know what, James? You're absolutely right. I did. I lost interest. I
Shocker.
I think I'm like the jury. I decided who was right and who was wrong very early on, and then everything else just started to anger me. Like, why don't they just put her in jail? Because they're not putting her in jail. Well, they should. That's how I felt like 2 weeks into it. And
Yeah,
then-
no, it's great. I even sent you the article on Miss Emily D. Baker, my queen.
I read that. Yeah,
Love her.
I'm a fan of
She's kicking ass with that.
Mhm.
And I get to say that I knew her before the Depp trial
How did you know her before the Depp trial?
because I don't know, because of Instagram and their and YouTube and their algorithms, and she's just in my circle along with the body language experts and hot ones.
They're in your circle. Yeah. Okay. So the hot ones thing, you're gonna have to explain that to me, but guys, you got to let me have the floor for this for a minute because I have got to give credit where credit is due to a better human being than anybody else in this little circle right here. I can't really speak for the people who are in the chat room right now. You're all wonderful individuals, I am certain.
Is
But-
April there?
April's a wonderful person.
She's one of my favorites. Yes.
A lot of wonderful people. I witnessed something that occurred this weekend on an incredibly windy. It was blowing 30-mile-per-hour winds out in the open on Lake Louisville. We are talking chop. We are talking people drowned. I mean, first of all, can we talk about the Death Lake, Louisville? Every year, like 10 hillbillies die in that lake doing something ridiculous when it's beautiful. I mean, but when it's really, and when I say doing something ridiculous, yeah, like the deaths, like we were obsessed with the deaths in the lake last year because we were going like, well, what was that guy doing? Something stupid, like trying to like stand on top of a boat as it's going like for, and then he cracks his head and drowns. Anyway, ridiculous ways that people die in that lake. Our guy, Emil Cirillo, legitimately, I'm not even making this up, and we should call him right now and put him on the spot, legitimately saved the lives of 3 people by himself. He saved 3 people's lives on Lake Louisville this weekend. He rescued them when nobody else would, and were they a handful. They were not.
Had they been drinking?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so here's what they were. Okay. You know what? Let me put him on for a second. Let's just get him because he didn't know we're going to do this, but he can tell he's very humble. He's not the kind of guy that would say this about himself. So let's give it to him right here. We'll put him on the air. We'll make him tell it. Kelly, in retrospect, maybe we should have just let nature take its course with these people.
Oh no, thinning of the herd.
Hello.
So we're streaming right now. We've got Kelly, we've got James, and we've got McKenna. You got a second?
Sure.
Okay. I was just saying that maybe in retrospect, we should have let nature take its course with the 3 people whose lives he saved this weekend.
Woo!
Oh.
Congrats.
No memorials this Memorial Day.
Yeah, no memorial. That's right.
Come on, bask in it. Bask in it. You saved 3 dirtbags' lives this weekend.
Jeez.
Oh. Oh well.
Nobody else would.
Oh well.
No,
Well,
wait,
somebody
no,
tell me what happened.
okay,
Yeah.
so here's what
He
happened.
saved lives. Got it. What do you do?
Nobody
CPR?
else. Nobody. No, they were
CPR on
stranded.
3 people.
I know.
Okay, so a bunch of like meth head teens. They were probably in their, what do you say, early 20s?
Yeah, I would say that.
Early
about
20
right.
meth
Now,
head.
why are we saying meth? Did they look like they were chewing rocks or they just ate up? What?
Ate up.
I don't know about the meth, but they were definitely out of it.
There was something going. Bad tattoos, like prison tattoos over their bodies. So I guess they were drinking, they were getting slammed, and then they wandered on down to the lake and decided that on a really windy day, 30-mile-per-hour open water winds, white caps, heavy chop, that as amateurs, they were going to rent some jet skis.
Oh no.
They were going to go out in the middle of this really rough water. Would you agree, E? I mean, am I overstating it? Or
No, I mean, for Lake Louisville, it was white caps,
it was.
which is, I would say 3 feet swells probably.
So we find this beautiful lagoon area where it is nice and soft because you've got glass, as you call it out there. It's nice, smooth water. And we anchor out, tie off with some friends. We're having a very nice time. And the kids are getting a little antsy. So I say, hey, how about the kids jump in the tube and old Uncle Pugs will take you out on the jet ski. We'll go tubing. So they're like, yay, Uncle Pugs. So we get out there in this insane, crazy chop. And within minutes, Amel's son goes flying. He's like underwater. I'm like, where is it? We're panicking. My kid's screaming, there he is. And now we're taking on water on the jet ski. The waves are crashing over us. We're going sideways. I'm like, we're going to flip the jet ski. And we are panicking, right? Finally, because look, E, last thing I want to do is kill your kid. So we get the kid.
Good. That makes you a good person.
Ground rules. Yeah.
I don't want to kill anybody's kid. So we get his kid. We're like, Dom is his son. Dom, just hang on. And he's like, I can't. And then my kid's like, you can do it. I mean, it was crazy. It was like,
Is he not wearing a life jacket?
Oh, he's wearing a life jacket, but it doesn't matter because the waves are so big. They're just crushing you. You could be bobbing, but you're constantly being hit with these waves. So Dom grabs onto the tube and I start going, I'm like, that's it. We're not tubing anymore. And where's my kid? Well, why can't we tube him? I'm like, because I am making an executive decision.
Did you turn the jet ski around and go home?
I quite literally turn the jet ski around and go home. And as and I can't go that fast because I got one kid who can't get back on the tube because the waves are too big. So he's hanging onto the rope as I'm dragging him through the waves, trying to make our way back to the placid waters of the lagoon where we are. I see Mason, my son Mason goes, Dad, those people need help. And we see these two dirt bags, for lack of a better word. They have abandoned their jet skis and they have swam to the rocky coast. And they are like, what is this, like a secluded area of the lake? Where is that? They're like with the rocks where they were. What is that? Just like,
I mean, where 35 goes over the Lake Louisville. If you were going towards Denton, it's on the west side. And so it's like an island that's over there that's not.
And they're stranded.
It's not populated.
And the jet skis are bobbing and they're going. And it's like they can't use it. And so my kid's like, go help them. I'm like, dude, I am dragging Dom. I cannot save two other people who are way in. And he's like, just do it. So I'm I'm going real slow because you got to go slow now. But you can't go too slow because the waves are filling the jet ski up with water. Because if you're going fast, then you can ride above the waves. But if you're going slow, the waves are like, so now we're taking on water. Now I'm like, we're going down. And the dirt bags are like, help us. And I go, what do you need? And they're like, tow us back to 121. And I go, dude, I got a tube. I got a kid on my back. Do you see the little guy bobbing his head out of the water? I am trying to drag these kids back to safety. Fuck you, asshole.
Oh, okay.
That's what he yells at me, right?
Guess I'm not helping you after all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even at that point, I'm like, look, I'm trying to rise above it. look, I understand you're under a lot of stress. Is there something else? Like I didn't, say it like that.
I understand you're under a lot of stress.
So am
Empathetic
I.
Pugs, right?
Yeah, but so am I. I'm trying to get these kids back to their parents. Fuck you, man. Just take us back. Come on, man. It's not funny. What, you're just gonna leave us? That's what he said that sunk in. When he goes, you're just gonna leave us? And I'm like, I'm like, guess so.
Yeah, with that attitude, I am.
And now my kid's on the back going, Dad, you can't just leave him. Because my kid's a big softy. And I go, all right, well, we'll get back to the boat and we'll tell them what's happening. Oh, but before I left, I go, hey, yeah, I'll call Shore Patrol. I'll call the cop. I don't know what any of these numbers are. Like
911.
And I'm not even going to pull my phone out in this weather. You know how expensive a phone is? I'm going to drop the phone in the lake
It's
and then I won't have
raining,
a phone.
Yeah.
So we make it back. We finally make it back. Poor little Dom, Amos's kid, his hands are all rope burned from hanging on to this rope as he's getting drugged through horrible weather. So I pull back around and they're like, what happened? And we're like, oh, it's bad out there. Dom's traumatized. Dom's like, that was awful. And my kid's like, why can't we go tubing? And I'm like, oh, shut up. You know what I mean? Typical asshole 13-year-old. And so Dom gets back on the boat and then he's like, what happened? He's looking at me like, what happened? And I go, oh, it is bad out there. We are not tubing today. It is not tubing weather. It was a mistake to go out in the open waters. And I go, there are people who are stranded out there and they're like in a really bad spot and they're stranded without their jet skis. And then there's a third guy who's stranded over on the rocks under the bridge. I didn't know at the time, Kelly and James, they were together. That group was together and they got separated.
Oh, no.
Two different parts. So I'm like, here's me, right? I'm like on the jet ski now in placid water. I'm like, I don't know. They're probably going to die. And he goes, I got him. And he jumps on the jet ski. Now, E is hosting a bunch of people at this pub. We're having a nice little boat party. A couple boats are tied up. They got food. They got sandwiches. They got a bunch of kids running around. And there goes E. Dun, 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 dun. He like just heads off into the storm. It's like straight out of that movie, A Perfect Storm. He just heads out into it. And as he gets smaller and smaller and disappears under the waves, I'm like, he's actually going to go save these people. Take it from there, E. What happened?
So I go out around from the bay and I make a right and I'm looking for I thought it was one jet ski. So I'm looking for it. And I see this guy and he's like flailing, like waving me down. And so I was like, okay. So I go over there, like, hey, dude. And I got a rope. And so I throw the rope to him and I'm like, you need to put it through the jet ski, like the hook in the front. And this guy is so hammered, okay, that he sticks the rope through like the hook. And the other loop was braided, like a dock rope. Like the one end of this braid has got a loop on it, the other. And he sticks it through, and then he hands me the rope, and I pull the rope, and it just pulls right through. Like he didn't stick the rope through the thing. And I'm like, dude, like,
what am I doing here, risking my life?
What's going on? And now the waves are like bouncing, and my jet ski's getting really close to the rocks, like on the shore. And I'm like, you need to put it through. So he does it again, and somehow he messes it up again. I don't know what he did, but it came loose again when I pulled off. So now I'm going, oh my God, like, dude, what is wrong with you? And he's like looking at me with this, like he had that, like a bucket hat on, and some sunglasses.
For his bucket head.
And he was like, just not, he just wasn't coherent. Well, right at this point, I look up and there's this like 5-foot water moccasin
geez,
making its way off of the rocks and like going across the water. And it's like maybe, I want to say 8 or 10 feet from this guy. And I'm like, hey, dude, turn around. There's a snake. And he's like, what? And I'm like, there's a snake. And it's like going across the water. He's like, oh, man. And I'm like, yeah, we need to get the F out of here.
Because you're in a
I'm
snake
like-
nest.
And I'm like, you need to put this through your jet ski. And I show him how to loop it like that. He's like, okay. So he loops it, and I now get it tied to the back of my jet ski. And he's like, hey, dude, we can't leave. And I'm like, why? He goes, because my buddy and his girl are over there. And I look to the right,
Two more.
like kind of, and there's another jet ski banging up against the rocks with his girl, like maybe about 40 yards, like further west. And he's like, we need to go get them. And I'm like, I can't pull 2 jet skis
In this weather.
in this weather. Like it's not possible. And I've only got one rope. Like, and so I don't know how I'm going to do this.
It was literally a Sophie's choice.
I feel like I'm missing
It
some
does sound
info.
like
Here.
it.
Why aren't these
And so
idiots getting
Hold
on their jet
hold
skis?
Hold on, James has a question.
I'm sorry.
What?
Why aren't they getting on their jet skis and going back their damn self?
E.
Okay, so this is the
This is
part.
fun.
So I'm like,
Okay.
what the hell? Like, what's wrong? He goes, we lost our keys. I'm like,
Jeez.
I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
what? He goes, yeah, we lost our keys. I said, both jet skis?
Lose keys. to the jet skis.
He's like, yeah, we both lost our keys. I'm like, where? He goes, they're in the water. I go, like, how did you lose them in the water? He goes, well, my buddy threw them to me and I missed them.
catch.
And they fell
Oh
in
my
the
God.
Keys
water.
at the same time.
And I'm like, why did you take the keys out of the jet ski? Oh, no. We were swimming.
We were gonna go
Like,
swimming.
totally hammered. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, your buddy needs to stay with his girl here. You and I will drive back to where I am. I'll get another rope and we'll daisy chain the jet skis together. I think I can maybe pull them that way. So I get them loaded up on the jet ski. I drive back to the lagoon where Pugs and everybody was. I'm like, hey, I need another rope.
And we're dancing and partying.
Yeah.
Fun.
So
and here comes E.
They're like, what's going on? And I'm like, just these guys are just hammered. Like, like just don't even bother asking me. So they give me the other rope. So I drive with the guy back over there. We go to his buddy. He's like, okay, here, I'm going to daisy chain him. I throw him the rope. He catches the rope, and then he drops it, and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
bottom of the lake.
So now they're
Like
all
the
swimming.
keys.
So he loses the rope, the second rope. Well, now I'm like right on shore with him. The girl is sitting over where the snake has wandered off into the grass, like as it crossed over there. And I'm like, you need to get the F out of there. There's this water moccasin that landed over there. She's like, what? I'm said, yeah, a water moccasin. She jumps off the rock, gets into the water with her buddy. Her buddy, like, that's the dude with the red Bass Pro Shops hat that Pugs got the story about later.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, thanks, man, for coming back and helping us. And he goes, it'll be all right, dude. Everything will be cool. We got this. And I'm like, you ain't got shit.
No, you don't got it.
I've got
He's
a
got it.
jet ski,
He's
and
got it.
and we've got one rope. He goes, well, let's tie them both together. So they tie the rope around the front nose hook of the one jet ski, the front nose hook of the other jet ski. So they're tied up side by side, and they can't get to the nose of my jet ski. So I now got to turn my nose around because they can't figure out how to tie it in the back. So they tie it to the nose of my jet ski. So I start going in reverse
Oh, jeez.
and then trying to pull them. And so I pull them out like where they're not banging on the rocks anymore. And then I unhook it off of the back or the front of my jet ski nose, and I jump and I tie it up to the back of the jet ski, and I start pulling the two of them. And now we're taking on water, and the dude's like, come on, man, we can make it under the bridge. I'm like,
We can't.
I'm like, no, we're not going under the bridge. I go, I'm making a right here, and we're going into this lagoon. I'm going to pull you into there, and then we'll go see if we can get your keys where you rented these. I'm sure they got an extra set of keys. So I drag the two of them over there at this point and drop off the jet skis. I leave the drunk dude with the red Bass Pro Shops hat with Pugs. and his
Me and him
girl.
are best friends now. We
Right.
really got along. After he
And-
told me, "Fuck you," this is the guy that told me, "Fuck you." So now he's sitting next to me on a boat for like 2 hours.
Oh,
And the two
jeez.
jet skis, and I leave him there, and then I take Alfonso, the other guy that was the first guy that I went to try to save, and I'm like, "Where'd you rent these jet skis?" And he's over at by Sneaky Pete's, and I'm like, "Oh,
I was
that's
going
where
to ask you if it was near Sneaky Pete's.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. He goes, I rented him over here by Sneaky Pete's. I go, okay, well, fine, we'll drive over there. So I get him on the back of the jet ski. We're driving over towards Sneaky Pete's. He goes, well, it's not at Sneaky Pete's. It's where a bunch of these boats were tied up all together. And I'm like, so it's not at Sneaky Pete's Marina. He goes, no, it's across the way. And I go, well, the only other place is Goat Island over here, which is right by the bridge. There's like a dock. And so I go over there. He goes, well, no, there's no boats tied up. Dude, that's like your marker, like where boats are tied up.
It's like Louisville on Memorial Day weekend. There
Right.
are boats tied up all over.
He's like, well, there's boats tied up. I said, there are no boats tied up here. I said, and there's going to be no boats tied up on this side because of the water and the waves. Like we're in 3-foot swells. Like nobody's going to be tied up next to each other. He goes, well, that's all I know is that there were a bunch of boats tied up. So I go, the only place I know that there's going to be a bunch of boats tied up are over
Can I
Party
stop
Cove.
you for a moment? Can I stop you just for a moment and paint the picture? These arguments are occurring on the back of a jet ski with Emil and this stranger who are in the middle of Lake Louisville with giant chop, and they're arguing with each other about where boats are tied up at.
This point, he's
they're
like,
not
sir,
safe, and they're arguing.
Yeah.
he's
Oh my
like,
gosh.
sir, I'm really appreciative. This Alfonso was. He goes, I'm really appreciative of what you're doing. I'm not trying to be difficult. He goes, it's just I don't know because my buddy's the one that rented them, and I wasn't really paying attention.
So he's got the wrong guy as guy.
Oh my gosh.
So he goes, and that's why I wanted him to come, but he wanted to stay with his girl. And I'm like, oh, whatever. So I go, okay, well, the only place I know where this is Party Cove, where all these boats are tied up. Do you think it's over there? He goes, I don't know. Maybe it's over there.
And by the way, hold on. If you want to pull up a map, a Google map of Lake Louisville, you will see the distance that they are covering on a jet ski in bad weather. He was gone 2.5 hours. This was two and a half hour process from the place at Sneaky Pete's where they thought the jet skis were to then have to go, oh no, it's Party Cove. That's like being in Plano and going, oh no, it's Irving. It's like, it is really far. Especially in this weather.
So I drive over to Party Cove. I get over there. It is a little calmer inside that area. There are some boats tied up. He's like, no, dude, this doesn't look anything like it.
Oh my God. Find it yourself.
Oh my God. So I go, well, I'm just going to go take you back over there. I go, we're going to have to call the Coast Guard. He's like, no, dude, don't call the Coast Guard. Because I think at this point they were riding dirty. Like, I'm pretty sure they were.
They had some contraband.
And so he's like, no, don't call the Coast Guard. And I'm like, well, we're going to have to figure out something when we get back to the boat. So we drive all the way back, and we're going all the way back. And we're right to the place we were where I said, well, hey, this is going to be where there's some boats tied up over here. This has got to be where you rented them. He goes, oh, man, this looks kind of familiar. I'm like, dude, we were just here.
It does because we were here before.
I'm like, we were here an hour ago. He goes, oh, well, it looks a little bit more because he's sobered up at this point a little bit more. He goes, it looks really familiar. And so I go, well, okay. So I pull up to the loading dock and I see one of the style jet skis that they had, like 1960s version that they rented.
Oh, these were garbage jet skis they had.
That was over there on the dock. So I drop the kid off. He gets out. He walks up. He starts explaining to the dude that he rented them from that he lost the keys. He's pointing towards me. The guy comes walking down the dock. And he looks at me and he's like, so he lost the keys? I go, not only one set, both sets. I said, if these were my jet skis and I were you, I would be following me because the other guy is in no shape to drive. And this guy can barely talk like the guy that I'm with. So he gets 2 sets of keys. He jumps on the jet ski with the other guy. And they follow me. He goes, you know where you are? I go, yeah, I know where I am. I go, and I know where the other 2 jet skis are. He goes, okay, I'll follow you. So he follows me over, and now I'm coming back through the lagoon. I go under Lake Louisville Bridge. I pull up the Pugs, and then you can tell them what happened while I was gone.
So you need to know that this is at the peak moment of the Memorial Day celebration. Everybody's having a good time. This is what you work all week for. You go out to the lake, you tie up with your friends, you have food, you have drinks, conversation, everybody's singing, everybody's dancing, kids are playing. Oh, it's a wonderful time. Emil's gone for 3 hours in the middle of all of this. All of this. The guy who owns the boat, who buys all of the stuff, who provides this opportunity for all of his friends to come out and have fun, is gone for 3 hours.
I don't think it was that. It was maybe 2. Maybe I don't know. It might have been 3.
2,
I
3,
don't know.
whatever.
It was long enough that Rick,
It was a while.
the captain of the other boat, Rick, that we were tied up with, and his son Chan and me, who were the lone 3. Well, I'm semi-grown male, but the 3 grown men, we were. It got to this point where they put me. They called me over and they said, "Can you drive his boat?" I'm like, "No,
no, thank you."
Drive his boat. It's like, we got to go look for him. We got to go look for him. This is crazy. They've been gone too long. I don't trust these people. And he's pointing to like the people that were left on our boat who are just sitting there. These people, I don't trust these people. So, dude, the guy who's like, "Fuck you," who then has to sit with me, on the boat for 2 hours. That dude gets on the boat, right? He climbs on the boat. Hold on, sorry. So he climbs on the boat, and we're trying to be nice. I'm like, "Come on, you guys! I'm so glad we were able to help you, right? Forgive and forget. I don't care." And he said, "Like, fuck you! I'm being Mr. Kind. Emil's going off trying to save the world." And I'm like, "Sit down. What do you want? You want something?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll take a beer if you got it." And I'm like,
No.
Well, I didn't know at this point. I had only spent 30 seconds with him at this time. I wasn't really aware. I'm like, "You sure? You could probably use a beer." Me thinking that, whatever.
Ooh.
So I give him, Kelly, I give this guy a beer. Now you gotta understand, he's on a boat now with probably 10 strangers, grown-ups, with a bunch of little kids running around. This is like a family-friendly kind of thing that we're doing here. He takes the beer and he goes, "Anybody got a key? I'm gonna shotgun."
Oh my God. Jeez.
And I thought he was kidding. I go,
Like, you had a key about an hour ago. You had a key.
That's true. So I'm like, that's hysterical. That's funny. And then he goes, "Never mind, I got one." And he
Oh my gosh.
grown-ups. A bunch of grown-ups and little kids are running around. And then he goes like this. It lets out like a huge. And at this point, I'm going, we got some characters here.
At that point?
Yeah, I thought they were just victims. Emil, these are the people who the lake is supposed to claim. You stepped in the way of God's will. Every year, people die in Lake Louisville, and it's always people doing this kind of stuff. And here you are. He is the Avenger of Lake Louisville. That's what we will call him from now on. He is.
Well, when you're out there saving
I
lives,
looked at it like, I've done some stupid things. I've gotten drunk and put myself in some bad situations, and I didn't want to read in the paper tomorrow like 3 people died on jet skis. So it just was, I don't know.
Well, 2 people died in, I think it was Grapevine this weekend. There was like an accident where they drowned, and I'm like, well, this would have been a much deadlier weekend if not for Saint Emil, who's out there patrolling the shoreline.
I mean,
Saint
he gives me a
Emil.
little bit too much credit, but they were definitely in trouble. That much I did know, and I just like to think that you do the right thing even if they were asswipes.
Hey,
Put that on the t-shirt.
wait, how old? They're in their 20s doing the shotgun. He was like
Yeah.
20. You think he's 25, maybe?
I would say like 22 to 25-ish.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that too old to be shotgunning a beer?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Mhm.
especially around a bunch of grown-ups you don't know.
And
I
kids.
felt really bad for the girl because the girl was the most hammered of the 3 of them at the beginning part, and she wasn't getting it at all. Like, she crawled up to this point where the snake was, and Bass Pro Shops guy didn't even tell her. I'm like, dude, that's where the snake was.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
And so anyway, it was just
So let me tell you about the girl. Now, the girl who
Scale of
was
1 to
with,
10.
she looked like, do you ever have a waitress and you go, oh, she's in recovery? They just have that look. Sometimes she had that look. She had like she's in recovery look, or she's been through a couple programs.
From alcohol or meth?
Yes.
Different
Yes.
looks. Oh, both. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Bad tattoos that friends did at backyard
Homemade
bonfire
tattoos.
parties.
Yeah. Kind of that weird bluish hue.
They had that kind of stuff all over them. So the minute the boyfriend, because now look, you got to understand, these are very nice boats. These are very successful people that we are out with. These are people who can afford really nice toys, and they have well-behaved children who are running around, and there's sandwiches. It's not just like a bag of chips and some dip. I mean, there's like, there's a spread.
Sandwiches?
There's a fancy sandwiches. Oh, I had pinwheels. I'm just talking
Oh,
Pinwheels,
fancy,
yeah.
fancy food.
Charcuterie was there.
It is yes, wine, women drinking wine. It's a very nice, sophisticated kind of situation for Lake Louisville. It's very
No one
nice.
was shotgunning a beer.
No one was
Not
shotgunning
one
a
person.
beer.
Right.
Yes, so he didn't really read the room, and I don't know that he has the tools to ever be able to read any room that he's ever in. But the minute he sits down and he shotguns the beer, his girlfriend, Miss Recovery 2022, she looks at him and she goes, ugh, and she stands up on the boat and just jumps in the water and swims like 20 yards out.
Oh my gosh.
Like even she was like, I do not want to be associated with him. Now, he did have one more trick in his bag. This is the one that Dom.
He didn't drop the bag in the water?
Oh,
Just
this is the
keys?
one that got Dominic really upset. He still talks about it right now. He's still mad about it.
Emil's 10-year-old son is 10 or 11. He's 11 now, right?
Yeah.
His
No, he's 10. Well, he's 10 now.
He's
No,
10
he's
now.
10 now. Yeah.
Emil's 10-year-old son saw this dude do this after shotgunning a beer and told this story probably 50. I mean, it made a mark. It made a mark on his soul. He's going to be remembering this forever. So the dude goes, he finishes the beer and he goes, "You guys got anything to eat?" So Dominic reaches in and hands him a bag of Tostitos, a fresh bag of Tostitos. Dude takes the bag, rips it open like an animal, and just starts shoving Tostitos in his mouth, right? Like, ah, rah, rah. He must have gone through half the bag of Tostitos. Yeah, this is fucking awesome. He F-bombs with, how old were those little girls,
One's 6 and one's 4.
Okay, 4 and 6-year-olds. This is fucking awesome. He's like hammering all of this stuff in his mouth. Hey, watch it, dude. Come on, there's kids. Oh, sorry, man. This is fuck. So he shoves half the bag of Tostitos in his mouth in probably under 2 minutes, right? I mean, he's just like never eaten before in his life. And then he takes the bag and goes like this. And just throws it over his shoulder.
Gosh.
Just
Littering.
tosses the bag over his shoulder. Doesn't put it back. Doesn't make sure that it's all. Crushes the bag so nobody else can have any now, and just tosses it over his shoulder. And Dominic Amos's son is watching this, and he just goes, "What? You can't do that." That's not
And there were chips all over the boat that got smashed, and Dominic was mad.
Oh.
You didn't want those chips after he was eating them.
No.
Like, how do these people pay their rent on their crusty little apartment?
I don't know.
I have no
Like,
idea.
what do you think he does for a living? Like, is he the
I
guy that
think
changes
we
your oil at
never
the
got
5-minute oil
deep
change?
in conversation, 2 hours of riding with him on the back.
Oh, I did. Oh, you better believe I was interviewing him. I learned a lot. I learned
Okay.
a lot
That's
about
what I'd be asking. I'm
what
like,
does he do? Well, he works for his father, who breeds super expensive dogs. He tried to sell me a
Oh my God.
$50,000 dog.
No, I don't want that. I
What
don't want
breed?
Yeah, what kind?
I don't know, some stupid breed I'd never heard of. But he's like, "What kind of dog is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a Catahoula." By the way, James, CeeLo didn't bite these guys, even come near biting these guys. CeeLo was really cool with these people.
that. Damn.
James
Chill, put
bit
this shit in.
twice.
Dude, my wife saw me a couple days ago. She's like, "Is that Mark still from the dog bite?" I was like, "Yeah, it's from the dog bit me at Christmas."
What
Oh
kind of
my
dog
God.
is this? It's a Louisiana Catahoula. Never heard of it. Like he was so dismissive. Never heard of it. Must not be real because my entire worldview defines everything that I believe. Okay. There you go.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, not a real dog in his mind because he's never heard of it. Okay. He goes, and I know dogs. And I go, yeah, well, you know dogs. He goes, my dad breeds dogs. He's got, you want to buy, I go, $50,000 will sell you one of these. And he said the name of some dog. And I go, dude, I ain't buying no dog for $50,000. And I don't believe you're selling one for $50,000. That's not a real price on a dog. So that's what they do. His dad, and I even said, then I started having fun with him. I go, oh, so it's like a puppy mill. He's like, it's not a puppy mill. He got mad.
Well, you know, he must have a big front porch because all dog breeders have big front porches.
He looks. Oh, he also looked around the boat and he goes, my brother's got a boat like this. I'm like,
Sure he does.
No,
Sure he
he
does.
doesn't.
Your brother has a pontoon made of trash.
Right. But here's what it was. Here's how I sort of, you know, I got years of therapy, right? I kind of can break people down by their behaviors. He was incredibly insecure. He's probably always incredibly insecure with who he is. And so when he got on this boat and he looked around and he saw these grown-ups who are actually kind of normal people.
Time to establish dominance with a shotgun, right?
Yes, he did. That is, he tapped into his uber confidence, which is the mistake that a lot of people make. Instead of trying to assimilate through sameness, he decided to assimilate through dominance.
He was differentiating himself.
Yes, he was trying to stand out. He conjured up some uber confidence, and it just didn't work for him. It was not good. And, you know, we see a lot of people do that. You know, when they're uncomfortable in a group, they make a fool of themselves thinking that they're, you know, they'd start telling lies and stories. But you saved 3 people's lives. The lake should have claimed these folks. And then here you came, you gave up your entire Saturday out there on Lake Louisville to save some dirt bags. And God love you. I was impressed. My kid was impressed. We were all impressed.
Well, thanks.
I'm impressed.
I don't know that it was that, but it was definitely eventful.
So did you guys exchange numbers? When are you guys going out again?
No, this is great. So you guys do this every weekend in the same?
See, Emil, look,
we move around different boats too. You'd never recognize us.
So you need to have an entourage. Once you have like a certain level of success and like monetary success, and you can have hangers on, you know, like a Pugs, like you send them to go do these chores. Like there should be like an E or a drama in your group or a turtle or someone that you can send to go do this. You shouldn't be doing this yourself because you wasted 3 hours of your own party.
James, did you miss the part where I saved his kid? Did you miss that part?
That's right.
Did
You escaped with only rope burns.
Right. That's right.
All right. Okay. So maybe the lesson here is that you need a bigger entourage. You need more than just Pugs. Like who else is in your entourage, Emil?
You need a Francis. That's what he needs. He needs a Francis.
Like a turtle.
You know,
you're turtle.
like that.
Pugs turtle.
I am not turtle now. I'm more of like a Johnny Drama. Just waiting for my next.
Oh man, I figured I'd be Johnny Drama.
Break. No. All right. Thank you. We appreciate it. And
all right. Y'all have a good night.
God bless you, Emil.
Kelly. All right.
There we go.
Right.
He's a hero. The lake should have claimed some people this weekend. Let the dog in.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that's the kid. The kid also. We saw Dr. Schwartz today because the kids.
Oh, yay.
No, not oh yay. He had to squeeze us in for an emergency.
Oh no.
The kid, yeah, let her in, please. And
he popped an implant or something.
Keep off your foot.
I don't think Mason has an
Step
implant.
on your foot. Okay. All right, just get in bed. Get in bed. Stay off your foot. The kid split his. The kid split his foot wide open on the boat, and it was like, stitches. Do we need stitches? I don't know. And so this morning, there was very little blood, but it was pretty serious looking cut. And so this morning I send Schwartz pictures of it. I go, do I need to take him to get stitches or anything? And he goes, bring him by the office. He goes, I'll check it out. And I'm like, wow, okay, world-class surgeon who does a lot of stitches, who repairs people's serious wounds, to their face and stuff like that. Okay, this is good. So I send him that thing. He's like, just come by at 6:00. And then he goes, oh, by the way, just take a couple pictures with it. Take a couple pictures, send it to me so I know what I'm going to be looking at. I go, okay. So I take a couple pictures and he sends back, do you have something better than a Generation 1 iPhone? No. Because, well, then I guess I'll work with this. Yeah. But he's fine. The kid's fine. Wouldn't have required stitches. It's just in a bad
He doesn't have implants. He didn't come
That's
out
right.
with
He does not
implants.
have implants. Although he wants to know how much implants are. That's what he was asking the whole time. Have you seen Schwartz's new offices?
No, but I know that he has them.
Where are they at?
God. The Walnut Hill in 75, like just south of North Park Mall, right in
Yeah, I know exactly where that's at.
Preston Hollow, in that area. I mean, he's
Mhm.
catering to that crowd. So
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, I walked into dude's lobby, and it is I thought I was at the spa at Caesars in Vegas. It is gorgeous. It is no expense. I mean, it's pretty fancy.
Did he ever get his DoorDash order from a couple nights ago?
I don't know. Was he having an issue with that?
Yes.
Was he?
Driver no speak English.
Oh, not with that.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Those are our stories. Who's got something? James, you got something you wanted? The floor is yours on this Tuesday evening show.
Are we skipping the monologue?
Oh, we didn't even do the we had
This
good
is the
stories.
third week in a row. James has been upset that you haven't called on his monologue.
Well, we
That's
do
fine if we don't. We don't have to do the monologue.
we do the monologue.
This is the same thing that happened last week. Same conversation. We don't have to do it. No, we do have to do it. No, we don't have to. No, we do.
Please welcome to the Comfort Nest Lounge high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful sunny downtown moonlit Highland Park, Texas. He is a veteran of 15 cruises, 14 conventions, and a half a dozen presidential inaugurations. He's a man of mirth known the globe around, a comedy sensation from generations past. His name is James Martavius Parker.
Yeah, I don't even know what mirth is, but thank you. All right. Hey, good to see you there, Kelly, McKenna. Welcome to the monologue. Hey, so the skyrocketing cost of fuel is having profound effects now on NASCAR races. For example, for the first time at the Coca-Cola 600, they were carpooling.
Look at that.
Oh, I don't like that fake laugh.
Oh.
All right. In New York City, cops are looking for these thieves who stole a solid gold tabernacle from a church and beheaded a statue of an angel. If convicted, the culprits face 20 years in prison and eternal damnation. According to the Globe magazine, Nicole Kidman has ruined her face with plastic surgery. They had new pictures in the Globe of her. Did you see it? To give you an idea of how bad it is, she's being pestered for selfies by people who think she's Ashley Judd.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ashley Judd fans out there. Today is...
Too soon.
Yeah, is it? Mm-hmm. Today is World No Tobacco Day. Smokers are encouraged to spend more time in the office doing their jobs.
Oh, look, the crowd appreciates that one.
I'm not worried about their health, right? It was on this day in 1996. Dr. Timothy Leary, the psychedelic drug advocate, he passed away after a long battle with giant fluorescent spiders. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. That
was kind of funny, though.
And finally... it was on this day also in history 2017. The U.S. Navy accepted delivery of the supercarrier Gerald Ford, the USS Gerald Ford. Was your husband on that one, Kelly? Did he do anything to do with that?
No, he's not in the Navy.
It's close enough. This is a rowdy ship, though. The sailors drink like Betty Ford.
Probably do. Probably true.
All right. That was very good. That was worth the wait.
Did he leave again?
No, when I switch scenes, sometimes it takes a second.
That was worth the wait. All right. So because he's 13, when he let the dog in, he just left the door open. Just let the door wide open. So, excuse me.
Sounds about right. That's how it works at our house too. Kids go outside. It just like I don't know how many times I have regurgitated the phrase, "Do you live in a barn?" Like, shut the door. I also don't know where that
Do
came
they leave
from.
barn doors open all the time?
I don't
Yes,
know.
you leave barn doors open.
Why?
Well, to let the breeze through, usually.
Oh, okay.
To let the breeze through the barn?
Mm-hmm.
Why have
Yeah.
doors then?
Well, so you can close it to keep animals in or animals out or whatever. But if you've already got everything secured up, cool.
Okay.
Keep out thieves, really. But I mean, there's no thieves at my house.
Donkey thieves.
Well, like it doesn't work on me because people
People
will say,
coming in
"Well,
to
are
steal the
you
chicken
raising
eggs.
a barn?" I'm like, "Well, we had a house too." Because I'm actually from a horse ranch, so it's not as funny to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
didn't mean to
Sorry.
offend.
No, no, no,
Thoughts and
definitely not
prayers.
offended. Not offended. Hey, I don't expect
We
you to know
city folk,
barns.
you
You're from
know.
Chicago, yeah.
So I wanted to ask Kelly about her evening tonight, James, because she participated in something that my kid's very excited about. He
The marital fight.
no, well, no.
That too. No.
That was
I don't get to see my texts first when my kid is here because he always grabs the phone because he's convinced I have no friends. And he's like, that's not even going to be a real one. That's going to be like an election text. I'm like, no, it's not. I have friends. I dragged him to Schwartz because I have 3 friends now that you've
Yeah.
met. 3. Four. Emil, James. 5. Ed. Emil, James, Ed, Aaron, and now Schwartz.
And Kenna and Declan. Declan's
But,
right there.
but he was very excited about your hot wings experience. James, are you familiar with the hot ones?
Hot ones.
You familiar with this, Kelly? Explain what this is, because I was not familiar, although my son was.
Yes. There's a channel called First We Feast, and they do hot ones where they interview hot celebrities while eating hot wings, and they
Now that
increase
Right.
in heat.
I've seen those viral videos. Those are
Yeah.
great. That's
Yes.
so brilliant. So brilliant.
I think the last one they did was with Post Malone, which was fun and interesting, and he's totally different than I thought that he was going to be. But we got for our family Christmas gift this year, I got the Hot Ones box of all 10 of the hot sauces, and we made 70 wings, I guess, and we did it. We did the experience of all of us went through each of the 10 hot sauces.
So
on
it gets
different wings.
progressively hotter. So
Mhm.
like the first wing is going to be what, mild, or is there still a little bit of kick to even the first one?
the first one was pretty mild.
Yeah, it was pretty mild, but I mean, it's like if you're not used to hot, you might think, oh, this might be spicy, but it was fine.
Yeah.
And it's incrementally hotter and hotter as you move through the board. Is this a game? I guess it could be a
No,
type
it's
of
just
a game.
it's just 10 bottles of hot sauce that you would put on 10 different wings. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then each wing gets its own hot sauce dab.
Okay.
And yeah, it was fun. And some of them did light my freaking mouth on fire.
So who participated in this?
Me,
Okay.
I did.
Kenna,
McKenna,
Declan,
Declan.
Jeff, my husband,
Okay.
and my 2 littles, Quinn and Locke, 10 and 8.
Okay, so here is it. Can I give you my predictions, and then James, you can give your predictions, and then you guys tell us exactly who won. Okay. So my prediction for winner 10 and 8, I would say that the 10-year-old probably did pretty well because 10-year-olds are always like, this ain't hot. You know, they're trying to be contrarian, right? Even though their mouths are on fire, they're like, this ain't hot. I can beat you. This is how I'm going to show that I'm a big person. You know, like that.
Yep.
They overindulge. But then I also think that maybe well, you know, your husband, Top Gun weekend, you know, Mr. Pilot, Mr. Military Pilot, Mr. Patrolling the Shoreline, keeping America safe from.
But that's the wrong one. That's Navy too. I already got.
Now he's Coast Guard.
Smackdown.
Oh yeah, but Coast
But a
Guard,
pilot.
they still, dude. Who do you think is protesting Corpus Christi from Tijuana?
Yeah.
It's Kelly's husband. Don't downgrade it. But I would think it would be either between the 10-year-old or Declan. Declan seems like he could put down some wings. James, who you got? Who you think did best?
Why not Jeff?
Why not, Jeff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why not?
Because he's
Grown ass
probably-
man who's
Yeah.
probably eaten the most amount of hot things in his life, and I also think there's something to the older you get, the more your taste buds are just kind of dulled. So I can tolerate ridiculously hot stuff that I couldn't when I was 20.
Oh, see, I can't. I'm just the opposite. I go the other direction. I can't eat anything really hot anymore because I am old and because my body has sort of I've damaged my
Oh man,
body.
see now I hear from other people who are like, "Oh, this will give me heartburn, or this
Yeah,
will burn
yeah.
coming out, or whatever."
That's what I'm saying.
You hear it from Pugs.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that who I hear it? Yeah.
Damn. So who was it? What was the pecking order? How'd you guys do?
Well,
I had the same thought that James had going in. I thought that Jeff was going to be fine, that he was going to be number one. He bowed out first.
Oh, shit.
He
Yep,
was the one
he
of
did.
us who was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
He ended at 8.
Let me tell you, ladies, something. I've seen war. I don't need it. I've been through it.
So the 8-year-old beat him?
Yes.
Yeah, well, technically, I think that Lachlan may have been fibbing when he was saying that he was putting it on his wing. I don't really think so. When we got to the end, I don't think that he was really doing it anymore.
But then Declan made up the rule that the person who loses is the person of the 3 of us who lasted. Me, Declan, and Kenna went all the way. The person who drinks something first loses.
Okay.
And because we're crazy competitive people, none of us would have anything to drink after that.
Is
Yeah,
Declan
We tied.
Declan one of those make the rules up as they go along, like when you're playing flag football in the yard. Suddenly, there's like a holding rule that didn't exist in the first 20 minutes.
it just became clear that like the 3 of us were gonna stick it out. So
We weren't going for water or milk.
yeah,
It wasn't happening.
yeah.
It's
Nope.
the original 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Original
Yep.
3 got
It
into
is.
some crazy Mexican standoff where they weren't going to give in to the other. So the 3 winners then.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, none of us gave until finally, the last wing really gets you. That one is a killer. A single tear down my cheek.
Yeah, she
You
took a
know.
picture of it.
Yeah. It was pretty insane. Mom was breathing harder than I have ever seen her breathe, and I've seen her.
I did high knees. High knees.
Yeah, I've seen her give birth to 2 other babies. So,
She's
and
tough.
Declan was walking in circles around the room.
Yeah.
So it was pretty tough, but
And these are the same sauces they use in the viral video series that I've
Yep.
seen. So it's all the same stuff.
It's like $109 for the whole 10 bottles.
Oh my
See, now I've had these sauces that if you just put 1 drop on your finger and put it on your tongue, you're out. Like it's not even edible. It's like you're putting battery acid on your tongue. So I couldn't imagine covering a whole chicken wing in some of these like ghost pepper sauces that I've had before. And is that what it takes for the final stage? Is it one of those just insanely off the charts, whatever the scale is? It's like
Wasn't ghost pepper number 6?
yeah,
6 out of 10?
yeah. I think in number 6 was the one that had ghost peppers. Honestly, it goes by the Scoville scale, and like they're in order based on which is from lowest to highest on the Scoville scale. And honestly, I think that is maybe not the best indicator, because sometimes you would have ones that like number 5, I think felt hotter than number 7. But it's like, so I don't know how they.
We ended at 2 million. The top number 10 is 2 million.
Well,
Jesus.
I imagine that
called?
number 5 did taste hotter than number 7, because at number 5 you're still reacting to it, and by the time you get to number 7, it's just shut down. Like your taste buds have just gone, okay, we're not accepting any more heat. Even though this, hey, you know who I bet would have been really good at this? Would have run the table. The dude who tried to sell me a $50,000 dog.
That's right. He would have been good.
That guy
Yeah.
was like, this ain't nothing.
Yeah. He probably would have.
Yeah.
Now
But it was fun. I for family fun. Go ahead, spend $50 on wings and buy
Tell you what.
$109 worth of hot sauce.
And
So
then,
far,
and
the
then
stomach situation seems okay too.
Mm.
I'm doing okay. I don't know if I can speak for everybody, but
when did this happen? Today?
Yeah.
yeah,
We finished it at 8:15.
Yeah.
Ah,
is this the state of your marriage that you're having to introduce games to stop the screaming?
Oh no, maybe because we got along real well during that.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
It
Mhm.
really did.
Sounds like a good time. All
Yeah.
right. I think that's it. I think we're out of show. I think we're done. McKenna, it was so nice to see. Do you have anything you want to say? I'm sorry.
Do you have anything to plug, McKenna?
anything you want to plug?
I don't
Anything?
have anything to plug just yet, but the
Okay.
moment I do, I will be back on the show to plug. it.
McKenna, wait a second. While I have you here, I have some thoughts. Now, let me
Uh-oh.
ask you a
Oh
couple
Sorry.
no!
questions.
Oh
James.
God!
No, this is good because I've talked about this a lot with James. Okay, so you are a young actress and you've recently moved out to Hollywood, right? You got off the bus, right?
Boat.
Yeah.
She
Like
took
in
the
the Welcome
boat
to
the
the
long
Jungle
way.
video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying, like a Warrant video from 1987.
Well,
She
that
gets
that
off
was the premise
bus.
of Welcome to the Jungle. Remember,
Was it?
Axl
It was
Rhodes
a
gets off
premise.
the bus from Indiana.
No, I'm talking about with the girl. There's always like a girl, a hot
My
girl from the
suitcase in a
Midwest.
dream.
Yeah, and then she gets picked up by some like guitar player on a motorcycle, and then suddenly it's a
God.
Warrant.
Please don't.
You know, that's
No.
all right. So, so you're out there now. I know you come from a good family. You come from a middle class family. Yeah,
Mhm.
you probably you got to find. Here's my issue, okay? And please don't take this the wrong way, because this bothers
Issue?
me. This is my issue. Not with what
Okay.
you're doing, with the system. Are you ready? You ready for a
Understand,
Uncle Pugs
yeah.
to rail against the system?
Oh yeah.
I have a belief because I knew a couple of people who have done exactly what you're doing. And they
Mhm.
went out there, and one of them achieved a fairly good deal of success. I mean, she was a
It
movie
was Tom
star.
Hanks. Oh.
Well, she had a TV series. You know, she Robin Tunney, the actress
Oh
Robin.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So she goes out there at 19. She's gonna make it, and we're all like, "Oh, that'd be cool if she does." But she goes out there, and her dad is super rich. Like she was set
Yeah.
up in an apartment. She
Yeah.
didn't have to work. So I have a theory that I'd say a good 8 out of 10 celebrities that you see, people who have made it out there, come from ridiculous wealth. That they
Oh yeah.
don't have to like wait tables and give up on auditions. They can go out on every. Do you see that? Like, do you see like, are you competing out there with a bunch of rich girls who?
I think that is very often the case. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I mean, most of the people who I've met, yeah, whenever you talk to them, they, I mean, like, and so much of the business is like about knowing people,
Mhm.
and rich people know rich people. So, I do think that that is a lot of my competition is coming from
How do you compete
people
with
with
that? How do
money.
you compete with a rich kid who doesn't have to wait tables, who can go on every audition, who's yeah.
I
No,
don't know,
McKenna's
Pugs, I
going the
still figure
Amber
it out.
Heard route, where she has to go on 10 auditions a day,
Right.
and she's changing in her car.
Mhm.
Hey, she
You
made
know.
it. She made it.
she?
Ever
Did she go on 10 auditions a day? Come on.
Yeah.
That,
No,
that's
she didn't.
that's why it grosses me out every time I hear the story about Emilio Estevez, how he didn't want to be Martin
Oh, yeah.
Sheen's son. He just wanted to be Emilio Estevez.
Mm-hmm.
Even though every audition he walked in on, the casting director knew it was Martin Sheen's son.
Yeah.
No, I'm Emilio Estevez. Psst, this is Martin Sheen's son. So it's you didn't make
Yeah.
it on your own. Everybody knew who you were. Your
Mhm.
dad was setting up the auditions. Yeah, but I went in as Emilio Estevez on an audition that Martin Sheen set up for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You know,
Well,
plenty of people do make it. Plenty of people do have the like, I came from a small town and
Yeah.
made it big. Plenty of people do.
Yeah, I
And you know what,
understand why
Pugs?
you need to tell yourself that. Yeah,
At this
Sure.
point, at this point, I need to believe that.
You
I need to keep believing that. It doesn't matter where you come from. Whatever.
Remember when Tori Spelling used to
Hey.
tell people that she went into an audition and didn't tell people her last name was Spelling when she was auditioning for 90210? Her dad ran.
She was auditioning for people who had been in her backyard, who saw her
Yeah.
as Aaron Spelling's
Yeah.
daughter.
No, they didn't know.
No, but
Okay.
wasn't the story? There was some story where people had to pretend like they didn't know. But like Aaron Spelling, everybody knew she was Aaron Spelling's daughter, but when she was auditioning for 90210, everyone had to pretend like they didn't know.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
my name's Tori Smelling. That's the ticket.
Spelling's
Oh,
verb.
right, Miss Smelling. Well, if you could go ahead and read page 3, it's upside down.
McKenna, I don't mean to. It always bothers me. Like whenever I read a bio, like you'll fall into a Wikipedia hole. You're watching a movie or something. You go to their cast listing and then you click on some of the actors, and it's like his father owns 15 chiropractic businesses in New York City. His mother is the daughter of the 45th president of the United States. It's always like ridiculous. Yeah, well, that's how you made it, because you knew people and you came from wealth and you came from. But there are also a lot of John Hamm. I was just reading his bio. John
Yeah.
Hamm came from just a regular. Ellie Kemper. Oh no,
Love her.
Her family owns Kemper Arena and Kemper Security. So
Oh, dang it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good for her. She's still.
She was the
she's still
debutante.
good.
yeah, she was.
Got in trouble for
Yeah.
that.
Her
Mhm.
family has some history of slavery. That's
Oops.
Whoops.
yeah, she's trying to distance herself from. Benedict Cumberbatch is the other one, or is it Cumberbatch?
It's Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch,
Yeah.
whatever.
He's also
I
British,
think it's a
though, so that's
cummerbund.
different.
Benedict Cumberbatch comes from ridiculous British wealth, and
Mhm.
his family made all their money because they controlled the slave trade in the Caribbean.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
It's not his fault. He didn't do it.
Well, I know I'm not
Yes.
mad. It's
Is
just
that like
that's
the whitest
dramatic.
name possible though? Benedict
Yeah.
Cumberbatch. It's either that or Colin Kaepernick, just out of irony. That's
or,
like
or Engelbert Humperdinck.
oh,
Engelbert
that's so
Humperdinck,
white.
yeah.
That's
God,
pretty white.
it's or like Rusty something. Because there's not a black guy named Rusty, but there's 1,000 white guys.
All right, guys.
You ever met a black Rusty?
Honestly, that's funny. I was just trying. So let me go to Google and let me just put Rusty. Let me see if any black guys pop up.
There's not one. There's not one. You will melt their servers. Don't do it. It's like dividing by zero. Yeah.
Rusty Wallace, Honda. Yeah, no, I'm not getting any, not getting any other names really. Oh, black dude's name. Kelly, didn't we used to think that there were no black guys named Brian? And then it turns
Yeah.
out there's a whole bunch of black
Oh, there's
guys
a ton
named
of 'em.
Brian.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that whole thing. Boy, we would have been canceled.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please, half the shit we did.
I know.
It's canceled. All right, I just Googled black guys named Rusty.
Not one. Right?
Some people in the
Google-
chat seem to think that there are.
How do you read that? I can't see.
I have my
Let's see.
glasses on.
It seems like maybe.
No,
Shout
they're
out
all
to
agreeing with
Rusty
me.
Shaft.
Rusty
Shout out
Shaft.
to Rusty Shackleford. We will not let them go unseen on this podcast.
Okay,
Rusty
Rusty
Shackleford?
Shackleford that's a name that I think I've even heard before. Is that a black fella?
I assume they put it in the chat.
I hope so. Otherwise,
No, it's not. It's a one-time character appearing in King of the Hill.
No, there ain't no black Rusties. I'm going through a list.
okay. Pugs has Googled it. Nope, not possible.
Rusty Cundiff.
There you go.
George Arthur Rusty Cundiff is an American film and television director, actor, and writer known for his work on Fear of a Black Hat, 1993, Tales from the Hood, 1995. Yeah.
Okay, but his name's not Rusty Cundiff.
Nobody's
He's got
name is
other
actually
names before
Rusty.
that.
What is Rusty short for?
Russell. Because every single one of
Oh,
these
yeah.
people's name is Russell or something like that.
Well,
Like
then
Rusty,
what about
nobody-
you could
His
call
name is
Russell
George
Wilson
Arthur
Rusty, I guess.
Cundiff.
Rusty Wilson.
James, find me someone whose birth name is Rusty. That's what I'm saying. None of these people, I just went through this entire list of celebrities named Rusty. None of them. Rusty Anderson. Well, there you go. There's one. Rusty Anderson is born Rusty Anderson.
Yeah, dude. I went to high school with kindergarten through high school with Rusty Reynolds, and that was his real name. His name was Rusty.
Reynolds.
Yeah, and
Rusty-
it was funny because he had a little brother named Rocky, which I think is also an
Of
extremely
course
white
you did.
white name. Rusty and
Rusty
Rocky.
and Rocky.
I like y'all are the whitest brothers, and we're in Chapel Hill, so that's bad.
Rusty Weir, real name Russell Allen Rusty Weir. Rusty Gaston, real name Russell Gaston. Rusty Burrell, it says that's his real name too.
Well,
So
there's
maybe
also Rusty, like Chevy Chase's kid in National Lampoons. His kid was Rusty, wasn't it?
no, it was
But he was
Russ.
white.
Yeah, but his name was Russ. They called
No,
him
they called
Russ.
him Russ for short, but his name was Rusty.
His name wasn't Rusty. His name was Russell. Russell.
Ah.
He was white. It doesn't matter. He's
I know,
not
but
Black
I'm just,
Rusty.
no. I'm not disproving the black theory. I'm disproving the fact that all Rusties are Russells.
Rusty Wallace, probably the most famous. Rusty Wallace, the NASCAR driver. Rusty Wallace, born Russell William Rusty Wallace. Rusty is a nickname for Russell. I'm telling you, there's enough of them here that I'm seeing.
What about Rusty Trombone?
What about Rusty Nail?
Is that it? Rusty
Rusty
Trombone
Hayden.
sounds like a jazz singer.
All right.
Yeah.
We have just, that's stupid. We are just now just doing stupid stuff. I don't know if they're James.
Opposed to what we were doing before.
Yeah.
Brainbuster stuff, yeah.
Hey, Emil saved people from the lake that should be dead. So that was good.
Yeah,
We
lives
seem
were
to be-
saved. Lives were
We're not
saved
sure
this day.
that was a good thing. I came away from that story not knowing if that was good or not.
Yeah, I don't either. I think the lake was supposed to just claim them. I really do.
Yeah, the jury hasn't come back yet on that one yet. They're still deliberating.
The lake demands souls. And now some innocent people will probably be taken who didn't need to be taken because we rescued those people.
I know, it feels like a
Oh,
Final
no.
Destination situation you guys just created.
Yes, somebody has to die.
Someone else is going to have to take their place now.
The lake will not be denied.
Good job,
Needs
jackasses.
3 people.
Yeah. Let's
Hey.
just go save people.
All right, we're good, right? We're out.
Look,
Yeah,
it
we're
just says
good.
his name's Rusty Griswold. I'm looking it up. It just says Rusty Griswold.
Doesn't matter. He's a white guy.
Doesn't
We're
matter.
talking about a black guy's
but
name,
he's not a
Rusty.
Russell. He's not a Russell. So
Doesn't
I can be
move
right
your
twice in one day.
weirdly racist argument forward one bit. He's
That's
a
a
white kid.
benevolent racism.
Okay. All right. All right. We saw Top Gun this weekend. That was great.
Congratulations.
Just as an aside.
Good way to end. All right, cool.
I had a whole Top Gun thing up. And there he goes. There he goes. All right, McKenna, best to you. It was so nice to see you, and thank you for your help the other
Great to
day.
see you again. Of course.
There she goes. All right, everybody, wave goodbye.
Bye, Pugs.
There they go. Well, that was a dumb show. That was, you can find all the shows at pugscast.com. Also, end of the month, you can help out the show with a tip. That would be wonderful. Would certainly appreciate that. The Venmo is there. The Cash App is there. End of the month, trying to pay those bills. Help us, help us, help us. Treat me like your bartender or your barista, whatever it is. We certainly would appreciate it. We love you all deeply. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. I'll be back tomorrow at noon for High Noon. That's topics, trends, all the things that you need to know about tomorrow. I go through them, headlines, current events, everything that's happening. I tell you why they're trending. I tell you why it's a headline. I tell you why people are talking about it. I give you a hot take and I move on to the next one. It's quick. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Saw a couple of people. I saw Joe Kenny in the chat room. Joe, you guys, you got to be nice to Joe Kenny. Joe Kenny is one of the most magnificent dudes I've ever met in my life. He gave me my first bartending job. I would go on to 10 Bar and all corners of the earth. No, that's not true. But I learned from one of the great bar and saloon operators in the history of Chicago, Joe Kenny, hanging out in our chat room. I love you, Joe. I miss you, buddy. Who else did we have in here today? We got Joe. We got my guy John. We got Leslie. I love Leslie. She's saying bye. She's not even going to hear this. That's okay. She knows I love her. Jeff Glenn. Brady. You're my guys. All of you. All right. I'm going to go. It's my last night with my kid. So we're going to go jump on the big bed. Rob Wexler was here. I know Rob Wexler, my first radio teacher. Kelly's too, I think, maybe. Maybe not. Rob Wexler, broadcast icon. He launched 1 million ships. And I'm proud to say I'm one of them. That's it. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. We hope you come by for topics. You guys are the best. I love you. Help out the show if you can. If not, that's fine. The show will go on, but your gratuities make it all much easier. Bye, everybody.